I want to turn now to Chief Derrick Sawyer. He has served as the fire commissioner in Philadelphia, did so from 2015 to 2016. He is now the fire chief of Upper Darby Township and is joining us live tonight. Chief, we appreciate your time. I want to pick up where that couple left off and some of these concerns. In your experience, I know it's been a few years, were you aware of any of these safety concerns being raised in this particular area?
I was not. I believe we had a pretty decent relationship with the housing authority during my tenure and 10 years before that. So one of the things we did was work on making sure that we went to 10-year lithium battery-powered smoke alarms with the housing authority.
What are the series of checks and balances when it comes to smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, other safety precautions, ladders and fire escapes in some of these row homes and taller buildings?
Well, actually, it's like an ecosystem. So an ecosystem is a combination of complex systems that work together. So you have the fire department that offers smoke alarms for people that can't afford them. You have the housing authority and L&I that does the inspections. And then you have to add in the component of these citizens, right? They have to play a part in the role also. So all three of those together operate like a three-legged stool. If one of those systems fall apart, that stool falls. So in addition to the fire department, housing authority, license and inspection, we want the citizens to do their part and check smoke alarms, and then also make sure they don't disable them when there's cooking problems.
Well, the other thing that stood out to me, Chief, was the housing authority and firefighters more specifically said today that there was an odd layout to this particular row home. You've been in there helping fight fires, investigations after fires happen. Is that something that is common to some of these homes, having a difficult route to escape safely?
There are occasions where there's work done in a home, but being that this was a housing authority house, I would tend to believe that the routes were safe and the house was laid out in a safe manner. We do come across homes that are boarding homes, sometimes illegal boarding homes where people rent out rooms and we're not aware of it because they don't go through the license and inspection permit process. And when we get there, we have some challenges entering, and then people have challenges escaping also.
Let's talk about sprinklers. You said that is one thing that we're not hearing a lot about in terms of this particular fire and what could have been done. What more can you share on sprinkler systems and code?
Well, home sprinkler systems reduce the risk of dying in a fire by about 80%. We know that having a smoke alarm reduced the risk of dying by 50%. And when you add smoke alarms and a fire sprinkler system, now that risk gets reduced to about 90%. So what the fight is, and the fight's been in the fire service for a while, is that we can't get legislation passed to retrofit sprinklers, especially in multi-use dwellings, home fire sprinklers. And because that legislation is hard to pass, you have incidents like this where you have people dying in fires. We are human beings, we make mistakes, but we don't have to die in fires. We're going to have fires, you don't have to die in a fire. So if you had a sprinkler system in that home, what would have happened, it would have been contained to the area of origin and people would have had time to get out. That along with the working smoke alarm for early warning, and we don't have 13 fire deaths.
We have measures in place that can help. In terms of the investigation, Chief, the focus right now appears to be on the kitchen in terms of the origin. What are you hearing? Right
now, I haven't heard anything other than that, but again, along with those fire sprinklers, smoke alarms, we also have to make sure we practice the home escape plan. So even if you hear that alarm, you know how to get out. You talked about how the house was configured. By practicing the home escape plan, it would allow people to get out because they're familiar with how to get out, one, day and night, and then have a meeting place outside so that everyone knows that everyone is out safe.
Heartbreaking tragedy. Chief, we appreciate your insight tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.